A very good morning to all of you. I'll just wait a couple of minutes for everyone to join before passing it on to others here to the panel, basically Priya and Smita. And I see a hand raised right in the beginning. I'm doubting if there are any doubts at the beginning of this, but as all of you know, what we are here for on FutureSkills Prime for, to basically upskill ourselves in emerging technology and reskill ourselves. And the reason why we stress on skilling is how the work environment around us is changing. And hence we thought it would be nice to have a conversation on basically the future of work, which everybody is talking about, but there are a lot of people who have queries and kind of misunderstanding about the whole concept, or maybe they want to dwell down on what is the deeper understanding of the future of work, or what is gig work, and how do people work, and how do you think a platform like FutureSkills Prime is prepping up for that, and how are we moving towards where you can upskill and be ready for such a work environment. So I don't want to take more time, and I think, taken few seconds, and I'll wait for few more people to just come back to this, and we'll start maybe in another minute. But before that, I would like to pass it on to Smita to talk about, herself first, and then also talk about Priya, who is going to be, who is from BGig, and where they both are going to have a conversation around what is a gig, what is gig work, what is future of work, and how women who are trying to come back to workforce, plus if people who are looking for employment opportunity immediately, how can they get, how will they find this session helpful? So Smita, over to you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for all of you who joined. And for someone who is asking for the PPT, I don't think you need a PPT for this session. So just be here, listen, and don't look for the PPT and the contact details and the recording, which you can do later, because we'll never come back to it. Okay, so be here for the next 60 minutes. If there are fewer people, I see very few participants today. We were expecting at least 500. So let's say if we are not having so many, you may not have that question also. So be here for the next 60 minutes, understand what this is about, and then ask us questions, right? So don't ask for PPT and the recording at the beginning. We're not going to give you that. And so about myself and the FutureSkills program that me and Anjana represent here. I have 27 years of experience in IT. I was with Wipro for majority of my life. Last 1 year, I have joined NASSCOM, this specific program called FutureSkills Prime, which is a Ministry of Electronics and IT initiative, which NASSCOM is executing. This program is intending at making India a digital talent base, right? So what we are trying to do is, how do we, India used to be the IT preferred location for IT for last 30 years or so. But as technologies change, as the demand from the customers on what kind of people are required and what kind of work is getting outsourced, typically the work and the workspace and the expectations are changing. How do we retain our #1 position? So that's what this program, FutureSkills program, is all about. And we have picked up 10 emerging technologies which will have higher demand in the coming years. And we have courses, standardized skills and courses related to that, which are offered in India. This is a geo-fenced platform for Indians. And hence, all Indians can participate. Only Indians can participate in this. We have skill certifications, which are given by NASSCOM and Ministry of Electronics. Hence, this is a very valuable certification. This gets uploaded into DigiLocker, and it will be part of National Credit Framework as well. right? A little bit about why I am excited about this session. So the last 8 years that I was in Wipro, we tried a social learning platform within Wipro where the idea was how do we get employees to learn newer technologies, not because there is a project that is coming up, just because there is a there is a newer technology in town. So just by through passion, how do we make them learn so that later when a project comes up, employees are ready for that. And one thing which we found is anything which falls in that quadrant of our life, right, which we know is important activities, but then they are not urgent activities. Such activities take a back seat. So how do we make sure that people are able to spend time on learning and be ready for the future work that is coming in? So one thing we found is, as in Wipro, we acquired a crowdsourcing platform, and that became the motivation for our employees to learn new skills. Because once you start seeing, there are immediate opportunities, and that too small ones, right? So gigs are basically smaller piece of work which one can pick up. I mean, probably when I was young, I've only heard about music gigs. And then we started hearing about gigs in all possible industry, and it's coming to tech also. So that's the reason. So I have a past in setting up gig economy within Wipro. Hence, I'm excited to have Priya and speak about how this is going to hold for in India for all of us. Right. Thank you, Anjana, and looking forward to this discussion. Priya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Smita. That was a really warm welcome and a very good morning to everybody present here. I hope you take away a lot of learnings from this session and you are enlightened towards the fact that how gig economy and what it is actually, and how things are going on. I think there's some. Okay, so I think everybody can see probably a poll that has come up on the screen, right? And before we start off, we would just like to gauge from everybody, that can you just guess that, what percentage of people, face problems when it comes to communication and motivation at work? So if everybody could just poll in. I hope it's visible to everybody. Perfect. We'll just wait for a little second. Great. Divya, can you just close the poll so that we have the numbers? Great. So while everybody has, put in their numbers, it will be very surprising to all of you that approximately more than 80% of the workforce today is actually facing problems like these at their workplace, wherein we have every kind of support that is available to us regarding different upskilling, be it soft skills or hard skills. But still today we face this problem and we are unable to move out of that mundane 9 to 5, or, we're unable to explore more opportunities. And where is this actually coming from? So let me take you back a little towards, what is exactly gig working? What is, why are we talking about gig economy today? And all these things, right? And even before that, I would love to introduce myself and, talk a little more about my story of how I became so pro when it comes to gig working, and how am I managing it, and what are my, certain life experiences that I've gone through. So for everybody present here, I am Priya Gupta. As per education, I am an electronics and telecom engineer. I did my graduation from India itself. Um, post my graduation, I realized that while I had interest in telecommunications, I still wanted to do a little more. And that is where I took a certification course from NSDC, where I became a certified skill in. I'm so sorry for this poll that has come up. Divya, we'll just do it after the intro. Can you just close it? Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So that's where I took the course from NSDC. And post the course, that was the first time that I landed my tech gig, which was with a leading telecom operator, wherein I had to look at the infrastructure towers and do a little bit coding there. That was the first time early on in my career, when I was just graduating, that I did my first gig. And it was really thrilling because you had always been to the idea. This is back in like 2013, 2014, wherein we all were just towards the fact that okay, this is how you are always planned towards that. Okay, you have to apply for a full-time role. There's a 9 to 5 job that you have to go for, and that's all you do. So the concept of really doing a little side hustle, startup world was not there. Words like startup, gigs were never there at that time, right? And that was something new, that was something liberating that I did. Post that, I joined PwC as a cybersecurity consultant. While I was working with the different industries, different domains, wherein I got exposure to work with banking organizations, I worked with certain infrastructure organizations, I worked with one of the leading zinc manufacturers of India, right? So I got exposure to work with all these different industries within cybersecurity, right? But still there was something that was really pushing me that I need to do a little more because I want to explore a little more. And that's where I took up more marketing courses, which shifted me a little from the tech to the non-tech, where I upskilled myself, and then I landed another few gigs in the non-tech domain. I explored my venues there. I did my post graduation as well. I'm an MBA from HEC Montreal. Post that, I realized that I really like, while I was doing all these different gigs here and there, somewhere in marketing, somewhere in cybersecurity consulting to somebody else. I realized that I really like an amalgam of some on all of these things, a little tech side and a little non-tech side. And why was I able to come to that conclusion? Because I had the opportunity to upskill myself as well as explore these different avenues, right? I was not constrained to my typical 9 to 5. I had the opportunity to go beyond it, to explore and do things. And doing that, after that, I started, taking a little step towards the startup world, wherein before I was a part of BGig, I was a part of a metaverse startup, wherein I was helping them within cybersecurity domain. I was helping, as well as I was helping them with their daily operations and client delivery. And post that, I realized that, what really pushes me off the edge and is giving me that learning curve, that edge in my own career development, is gig working. Wherein today I do work on gigs related to cybersecurity, because early age startups today do not have a lot of workforce, or they do not want people on their payrolls to work for cybersecurity gigs. And that's where I step in to help them with that, as well as I've started doing some non-tech gigs as well on the side. So all in all, what I want to put out is that we all might think that it's a little tough. How do we go about it? Is it really even something that we should go about it? But I would say it's all like, until you try, you don't know, right? And until you try a different thing, you don't know what really resonates with you, which field you really like. And at that point, upskilling becomes a really important part of your life, because you do want. So today there are a lot of upcoming fields like cybersecurity, AI, ML, that we all really want to be a part of, right? We see that the economy is booming towards that, especially with the internet age coming in. But we are handheld that I don't know this certain skill, how do I go about it? So that's where the mixture of upskilling comes in. You can upskill yourself and then have platforms like BGig where you can actually find opportunities and test it. And once you do test it, then make it a habit. Why not, right? And I would say that was my story. But really, if I want to today talk about what do we really mean by gig, I'm sure there are a lot of people who've heard this term, and are now confused that okay, what is really a gig? What do we mean by gig working? I've heard these terms, but I don't really understand. So let me just present my screen, and I'll take you through a brief history of how things have actually cropped up and why we are today talking about the topic that we are really, right? So give me a second, I'll just share my screen. One second. Yes, so I hope my screen is visible first of all.
Yes, it is.
Perfect, Smita. So I think Smita has given us a wonderful introduction of herself and what really excites her about the gig working and the gig economy. And I have probably like elaborated a lot more than I was supposed to on my own journey. So I'll just skip this part and I'll take you actually towards the history of gig working. Okay. And before I take you there, let me talk about gig. Okay. So what do we mean by gig? So gig is essentially, you can say, any kind of a project, any kind of a work, right? Which is for a particular time frame. It's defined. It has a definite length in terms of the hours that you would want to give, or the days you want to give, or maybe the work is very defined that this is the work that you would want to do. And for that particular work, you are paid. You given your particular time that is designated and decided between the two parties, and you're paid as per what is decided, right? So that is essentially what you call as a gig. So in today's layman term, when you talk about any project work or any assignment based work, or you say any scope of work based work, right? That is essentially all these three things come under the major broader umbrella term called gig, right? That is what gig is. When you talk about gig workers, anybody, any individual, be it any kind of a white collar worker or blue collar worker, anybody who's working on this sort of a project or a work based pattern, where you have defined things, is called a gig worker. And the economy today, the money that you generate, whether it's paying to a gig worker or receiving a salary or a remuneration against a gig work, is contributing towards the gig economy. Okay, so these are the few terms that you will constantly hear throughout this presentation as well. And on a general note, if tomorrow you plan to work with somebody else, or try to have a conversation around this gig working with them, these are the certain topics that you will definitely like, these are certain terms that you will definitely hear. Now, if I take you back, about in 1915, that was the first time the term gig came into origination. And it came into origination with the fact that at that time, the gig word was prevalent only with musicians or people who played instruments, because their work was considered that, it was a time-based work. They were engaged on an hourly basis or on some sort of contract that we want you to play on a certain occasion or something like that. And that's how the term gig in 1915 came into origination. And after that, in 1940s, it
We lost Priya.
was the sort of a
Yeah, just give us a minute. I think she has a bad. Okay, Priya, you're back.
okay, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm saying. And in 1940, that's where, we all, like, there was a jazz musician group that came together and delivered the first work, which was called a gig work at 1940s, right? After that, this term was very loosely used. But, when it came to the late 1990s, the late 90s, we saw a sudden boost in this, and that was mainly to the entering of the digital era, where we saw a huge transition, with the .com coming in, internet coming in, people having access to digital things. When we saw that there were things that you could access at a go on a click, right? And that's where things started developing, and we could see that we could sit at home, use the internet, and actually get projects across the world. This really took boom when it was 2008, the Great Recession time, right? Where people saw that within their domestic area, they could not find opportunities. People were getting laid off. They had to sustain, they had to get some cash flow. And that's where they tried finding projects on the internet. And this really took a boom. And then the next boom and the next thrust that, that really marked the paradigm shift of gig working was post, during COVID, where people were majorly laid off. People had no money. They had no idea how to work, where to work, how to get that money in their house, right? That's where we got a major boost when it comes to gig working. People wanted flexibility. People wanted that comfort of working and everything, right? And that's where we got that major boost. And I would say it is something that is going to continue on and on now. Currently, we have about, if I talk about India itself, we have only, sorry. I'm so sorry. I just have a little bad throat. But going back, if I talk about India today, we're at a stage where we have approximately 7.7 million workforce that is interested towards gig working. But due to the increase in trend, we do see that this 7.7 is soon going to surpass approximately eightfold and go to 25.5 million, right? So that is something really worth looking at. Smita, can you just take over for a second?
Yeah.
Why don't you have water? I was about to say that. So maybe Smita
Yeah.
can take in the
So,
meantime.
Okay, so what has happened is like how she was talking about the history in the 1990s and how gigs started picking up. Probably in the 2008, 2010, I would say that is the time where we started seeing small work in probably not in the core IT tech work, but then a lot of creative work started getting in as gigs. Probably some designs and content work and things like that, right? Which are in the creative side. So we started people taking up such gigs, and it was mostly, again, from musicians and entertainers, it came to the creative world. And then probably in the 2015 time, that is where even tech work started outsourcing, right? So the in the late 1990s, when we started outsourcing huge amount of work to India, there was this there was a lot of apprehension and resistance saying, how are you going to get work done miles apart, right? When we are sleeping, somebody is sitting and working. How do you have control? How do we make sure that there is security? All those questions started arising in the 2015s when tech work was outsourced as gigs to probably, I mean, there is no team that is constructed, but to a large set of people. Right. And that is where COVID came in, and then it broke a lot of our myths around, can work be done remotely? Can people not see each other, sit in the same place, but still deliver a project? And can we do work in a secured environment? Can we extend a secured environment to a large set of people, not just in a secured offshore development center probably, but to a large we had people like in this call today. Actually, Anjana is from Dehradun and Priya, you're from Gurgaon.
Yes.
And I am in Chennai. And then we all of us work like this, right? So in NASCOM, I think we have people across India who are working, and all of us work on projects. We don't usually go to office. We go to office only once or twice a week. That too, mostly if we are going to a customer place. So all those myths got broken in the COVID, and that's why 2023 figures as a big thing in Priya's slide, because this is where we're thinking that there'll be huge adoption from both sides, right? Yes, Priya,
Right.
Better now?
Yeah, thank you so much. And rightly said, Smita, like, this post COVID, there was actually a paradigm shift wherein I know a few of the, especially banking sectors, right? We all know they never worked from home, right? And there were, especially the back end at banking, it was always a notion that no, you cannot have work from home opportunities, or you cannot have flexible opportunities. You need to come to the station, sit in front of your desktop, set up there, have that 9 to 5. And that like COVID really shattered businesses. It made them think twice. It turned them upside down. How can you actually work from a remote environment as well, right? And that got a tremendous shift. Not just till now, we had always been talking about, that this is how it works in the northern side, like the American side of the world. But what about the Asian side? When are we going to bridge that gap? When are we going to, get into that model of working remotely, having a hybrid model of working and everything? And this is where we saw the shift, right? Today, India is emerging as the fifth largest economy after US and China and Japan, when it comes to having gig workforce and, having people, especially today, if I talk about the Gen Zs that are coming into the workforce today, right? They want all the more autonomy when it comes to their working style. They want to dictate their own terms in terms of spending time. They want that work-life balance. They want to spend time at home. They have aspirations beyond a professional work. They want to have certain activities outside the professionalism. They want to nurture their own, side skills. They want to have their own, what do you call, have their own certain aspirations, or certain, things like, I want to be a guitarist on the side. So
Yeah,
I
it's
need.
always about freedom, Priya, right? So I think all of us are, we know that we can get more freedom, and probably that realization came in during COVID, where we said, okay, I want to decide when
While Priya is continuing with the slide, I just want to add, there is a question, and very pertinent question, that I am a person with a disability and I completed, MCA, and how will it help me? And I think the people with disability, it opens for them a very wide corridor. So maybe towards the end, Priya, if you can also address this portion.
Sure. Yeah, I think not just with people with, disabilities or other people with some special abilities. Today, we've seen this shift when it comes to, when we talk about women as well, right? At one point of time, we always had this notion that, women, as per the society, it was dictated that, we're supposed to work in a particular fashion in some particular fields only. But today, with the internet penetration and everything, we've actually seen that shift, right? As you can see, like, this thing has doubled since 2019 to 2022 only. So moving forward, we do see another
Okay, so Priya, let's
I'm so
no problem. So this is where gig work comes in. So I have some answers, so I can plug in. Okay, so 53% freelancers work on tech gigs today, right? So then again, there is another parallel story that is been building, where if any of you are familiar with open source, a lot of open source work was already getting done as gigs. Probably they never called it gig, but open source, the opportunities are available. You have projects, you have an opportunity of picking up any project that is there out there. You have, you can do your own work, you can fix an issue, put it back. If it gets picked up, then it gets picked up. So the gig work in some way in the tech industry is already there. And that is the reason for adding that thing is, okay, so there is a question, how can students start freelancing for work? So there are, so I would suggest all of you to get started with open source work as a student, right? I hope all of you understand what GitHub is. GitHub is the largest source code repository and the place where developers hang out. So create a GitHub ID, identify some of the projects, open source projects that are there. Look for open source sites, which will help you identify. Start testing, start downloading the project, building it and testing it. That's your first step. And then you start focusing on, can you contribute to an open source project? Right? That's your first step as a tester. That itself is good enough, because most of the gig platforms today have some criteria about what kind of work experience you should have. And by participating in an open source projects, you're getting that work experience, then you get started with any of the gig work. Right. So that is one thing. And then person with disability, we'll take that up at the last. Okay,
Sure.
so there is a question. There's a question about remote or work from home does not suit to Indian. I think it is something for us to explore. I have seen it work, so I can only tell from my perspective. I think all of us here are talking about our own perspectives. We are I don't think we have a different opinion in that. So this is
So I
something which is here to stay. And
I'll pitch in a little there, Smita. So, yes, I think there are a few organizations where you will see this resistance. As you know, we spoke that this barrier broke, recently when it came to COVID. But today, people are more towards having a hybrid workforce, right? They understand that basic things like, infrastructure costs that a company bears, calling all employees to office, the commute time that gets wasted when it comes to
you
you know
switch
commute.
off your video, Priya. Probably there is a lag in the net also. Just switch off your
Yes.
video for now.
Okay, sure. Is it better now?
Yeah, let's get started. Yeah, let's get going.
Okay, perfect. So, we've talked to multiple organizations as BGIG. We've spoken to large enterprises, which are, have a workforce of more than 10,000 employees, or we've spoken to early stage startups, okay, and a few other SMEs. And we've realized that all of them are more towards a hybrid workforce, wherein they want individuals within their office premises to work for certain things. But when it comes to specifically tech workforce, right, they are open to having given them remote opportunities, because they save on a lot of other things, such as, the commute time, the infrastructure cost, the kind of output that they get from these individuals once they give them these certain flexibilities and facilities. So these are the benefits that we've actually seen. So it's not something that I would say that in India it does not fly. I'm saying it's probably like there is a shift that is happening. We are adopting a lot of Western cultural things, and this is one of them that we are now adopting and bridging the gap of. And especially the new age startups, they're all towards how collaboratively you can work, which is why you have a lot of internet resources when it, as Smita talked about GitHub for techies, or you have Discord channels today. You have your forums like Quora or LinkedIn, wherein all techies can get together, have that mixture of conversing as well as working together. So it is something that is taking a shift. Yes, you will find both kinds of organizations, but the shift now towards having flexible, a workforce with flexible timings, and a flexible skill set. People who have developed that niche for themselves and can deliver projects, maybe in individual capacity or something like that.
Yeah, Supriya, I'll just take few questions that are there. So how to figure out hourly rate? Where do you get freelancing work? So just for the such question, just stay on. That's what this session is all about. So there is one pertinent question, which is in the long run, all gig workers will need to have some social security. There are initiatives that are being done. There are policies that some of the states have started building around it. Even centrally also, there is work that even NASSCOM is doing towards future of work. And one of the constituent part is how gig workers can get can get, I mean, how do we make it more amenable and secure, right? So that some effort is going on, Ashutosh. We will touch upon that also towards the end. About platform and how to do it, please wait. We'll have that answered in the session itself. And our women returnee, everybody, please wait for some time till we talk about how to get this started. Okay, Supriya, let's go fast. Let's get to that place. I think that is what everyone is looking for. Enough of history, they say.
Yeah. Okay. I think.
Okay, so maybe just say why the benefits. I mean, although we all know, just that screen, we'll just keep it for a minute for everybody to absorb. Right, you do get a lot. You see your experience and expertise is what determine the kind of money that you get, and your work speaks for it. So if your work quality is good, the next time you're going to get a higher gig price, right? So it is really upon you how you get your salary. Job security is a very interesting point to have here.
Because we are talking about your freedom, then it is also about
That's
the
true.
employer's freedom. So
Yeah, that is true.
No, but I think there I'll add something. When it comes to all these benefits, when it comes to working as a gig worker, right? While you do have your own flexibility, right? I would just we do have a section just after this where we give a few tips that, how you can actually build your gig working career. But I would say when it comes to deciding what are the salaries that you generally would want, it's more about how much do you feel that you should be paid. While I know everybody would want like an X amount of, salary for the hours that they spend. But obviously, the kind of quality of work that you deliver, what are your skill sets, how good you are at that particular work, right? So I would say even if you do, if it's the start of your gig working career, you do a certain assignment at an X rate, it's okay. You will also know that, whether you were able to put in that much effort, were you able to deliver it, and then you can charge subsequently for the next gig that you're doing it, right? And in this, it's an industry where your networking and your word of mouth plays a major role, right? So if you deliver good, there are more chances that, it's like you're developing your own venture on your own self. So it's something like a solopreneur journey that I generally tell everybody, right? So it's like you are developing your own business. The better quality that you give, the better satisfaction rate that you give, the kind of deliverables that you give, the more opportunity you will have in the next run of people recommending you, coming to you for a particular job itself. It's just like running your own business on an individual front, and probably selling your skills and having that learning curve as well, along with the career growth and the flexibility.
Sure. Let's go, Priya. So probably we should start by saying some of the tips for somebody to get into it. So there are questions around where do you find gig work? How do you decide what is your rate? Probably at this point of time when you're getting started, you don't decide the rate. The rate is decided by your customer. And then there are questions around taxation info, etc. So let's go through these points, Priya, and then we will take up anything. So just give us probably 2-3 minutes more to, I mean, if these tips are self-explanatory, we just we can cover it quicker. If there is anything beyond this, then you can ask that in the questions.
Sure. So here I'll just probably focus on two things. You need to identify as a gig worker. While I would say that, okay, fine, keeping my career in line as an example, I have skills in cybersecurity, I have skills in operations, I have skills in marketing, right? But I know so for instance, if I take marketing, right, I know my skill set in marketing is not up to the mark that I can individually complete a project and deliver it, right? I know my skill set in cybersecurity is something that is very much prevalent for me, and that is something where I can deliver, right? So you should have assessed yourself that which are those skill sets that you can really perform on, right? That you have interest in, that you would want to develop even further and build your career on, right? So I would say start with getting gigs on those skill sets, so that you see a certain level of success, so that even that these things work out for you. Because while you work in a 9 to 5 environment, you always get to know that this is the kind of environment that I want to be in. This is the kind of the organizational environment that I want, the kind of work that I want to do. It's the similar fashion for gig working, wherein I know that, okay, I want to do cybersecurity projects, wherein maybe I just want to do IT audits. So I have identified my niche. Then I will probably construct my profile in such a way. I will highlight those particular projects which say that these are the deliverables that I've given in the IT audits. These are the things that my clients have benefited from, which actually helps you build a good profile for yourself, as well as it showcases your skills, your talent, your work, and the achievements that you've got. So you really need to sell your skills in order to get those early gigs, and to see that early success.
Okay. So 2 points, Priya, that I'm taking out as very relevant. One is you need to decide where you can deliver independently. That's a very good point that you said, because it's not about, oh, I can manage things. No, that doesn't help. It is your ability to do. So when she spoke about an audit, she knows what are the points to look for, how to do a cybersecurity audit. So that way, it is your talent, and hence it is very important that you stay relevant, right? So you have skills that are required in the market. And the other point is build your network. I think the proactively seek new opportunities come hand in hand with that. That's the only way you will get. See, today it is not a very organized sector. There are very few platforms out there which are giving gig work. So your network is your power. There are still gigs that are happening, probably not through a platform, but there are companies that are taking up, like there is very thin line as of now between how contractors are taken vis-a-vis gig workers are taken. So there are such opportunities available. So your network becomes your strength. Be in LinkedIn, definitely, and be heard and seen in LinkedIn as somebody who is learning new things as well as open for work, right? With a so that's where, I mean, I think I'll go back to that point on open source. That's one place where you can say that, yes, I have done something, and you have a proof. So in most of the cases, at least in the open source area, you don't have a resume. The resume is built by the person who's interviewing you by just looking up your GitHub ID, and then all what you've done just gets populated, right? So showcase your talent is something like that. Have things which you have done, which can be showcased to the customer, so that you know that this person will deliver. Now,
there is one question which is very relevant to whether we should get a gig first and then start continue our journey with skilling, or should I first upskill and then then get a gig. It's kind of
and the classical answer will be depends. If you can find a gig which is there for the one skill that get started, because it always, the first step is going to be difficult. So you look for gigs in that particular area where you're confident, get started, and then continuously upskill. That's the reason why we are even having this session, because as a group that is looking at upskilling Digital India, we know that the reason why somebody will upskill is because the technologies are changing and there are opportunities, and an opportunity right there helps you or put your learning into into priority, right? It makes it urgent, so you can reskill. So yeah. Rajeshwari, right? Rajeshri, please look for a gig which is there in your sweet spot. Probably if you are a programmer or a UI UX designer or data, these are the areas where there are a lot of gigs available. So if you don't have any of these skills, have a scan of all the gig platforms, look at what is being asked, get skilled in at least one of that, and then get started.
Yeah, so I think Smita, like there's always a starting point, and I think where that's where Rajshri is coming from, right? If you have a skill that you really want to, do that gig working on, then sure, like have that first gig and on the side keep upskilling yourself. But if you have interest in some other skill, right? I would not even discourage, like I would encourage people to actually, do that upskilling and probably have a chance to showcase your talent, because a lot of times everybody has that hidden talent, that it's yet to be explored and yes, yet to be showcased. So I think both the things, as you rightly said, goes hand in hand. There's nothing first that you can do. On the parallel, I would say upskilling, and I keep telling everybody that learning is the only constant. You keep learning every time, every day, at any scenario. Today, even at this webinar, I am going to take a lot of learnings back home. So that thing never stops. And it's the best thing for gig working is that you can start at any point. It's never too late.
True. Priya, so I'll take few questions which are there. There's an anonymous person who's asking, can gig be and or with present work? Big question. We're not going to answer this. There's already a lot of debate around moonlighting. Depends on your present work policies. All right. So it is a pure depends. Can gig be done? Yes, if you think that you can spare that time and get things be done. But then if you, along with the present work, you have to check your present work policies. So Ashutosh has a very pertinent question, and this is where so
And
you're
he
right
has
on
couple
point.
of them, by the way.
Okay, so the last one. So Ashutosh is asking about gig workers will need to have a platform where they can upgrade their skills and acquire certain certifications to demand better remuneration. Yes, so this is a journey towards skills from degrees, right? And skills are there in two methods. One is demonstrable skills, which is what we spoke about as any open source or your past gigs. Once you have started doing something, but till you get to your first gig, skill certifications are the only one which will tell you that whether you have a skill or not. FutureSkills Prime is government's effort towards getting to a common certification in India. So FutureSkills Prime is in the area of emerging technologies in IT, right? Similar activities or similar initiatives are being taken in other industries as well. Right now, we are talking about IT and gig, which are probably in the emerging technologies. FutureSkills Prime is the government initiative, and the certifications here will be considered because it goes on to the academic bank of credit. All right. So hence, platforms like BGIT will start appreciating or giving preference to the Indian citizens with such skill certifications. So yes, we are in that path. India is in that path of going to going towards skills, and not necessarily looking at whether you did a BTech or a BSc or a BA. Doesn't matter. Do you have skills in data science? You get a gig. Okay. So any other question, Anjana?
I
seeing a lot of
saw
questions.
Rajeshri also typing that I have experience, but I am not confident. Now, to be confident, you will have to obviously put your
Get started. So that's the
yeah.
only way.
So
That is the only way. So we will be talking about some platforms. One is definitely BGIG. There are other platforms as well. And stay in touch with this group so that we'll help you with more such opportunities as you go forward. For confidence, the only way is to do a project. Jump into it. You will fail, or you will know that, oh, there are more things to learn. Right? Okay.
yeah. So we have answered all the Q&A part, Smita.
Okay.
No, I'm asking.
Oh, have we? Okay.
Any central repository where all active gigs are available. So we are, like Smita said, we are discussing about BGig, and there are a couple of other platforms who very frequently talk about gigs. If you are into deep data sciences and such technologies, and you really have hands-on and you want to test not with a gig, but with a project. Then Kaggle has it, and all these open source platform has competitions going on. Submit a you know submit a solution and you will get money, $10,000 and all of that. But those are competition to that scale, so that level, and maybe you would like to try some lower ones in those.
Yeah, but I think if everybody, like people want to get started, then platform like BGig is something that they can definitely approach. So it's a fairly very easy journey that they can have on the platform, wherein they just need to log in,
Are you
create a
going to demo the platform, Priya? Do we have that?
we don't have the demo right now available, but it's very fairly simple. They can we'll share the link in the
Then put the
Q&A.
link, yeah. Put the link in the chat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We will also be talking about, Priya, that if people do NASCOM certificate, especially women, that is the main important part we spoke about, and women who are trying to come back to workforce. If you submit your certificate, they will consider you for the, they'll have one step lesser in their evaluation, because ours is also a online proctored exam. And likewise, BGig had their own independent exam. So you can submit what area you've done, and they will be considering that. That is something we've had a discussion. So, but obviously you'll have to give some authenticity of what have you done, and you will submit your certificate with them.
Right. Rightly said, Anjana. So I'll just talk a little about BGig and then how it works generally on these platforms, right? So BGig is a marketplace wherein being a tech freelancer, you can get multiple gig opportunities, be it small scale startups or large enterprises with the likes of, Tech Mahindra or Swiggy. We've had such clients as well who are looking at gig working, so you get that benefit of having your flexibility as well as working with these organizations and on a gig based and getting that exposure as well, upskilling yourself as well. And that's so on the platform, it's a very fairly simple journey. When you register as a freelancer, all you need to do is sign up, complete your profile. There's a inbuilt test that you would have to clear, and obviously if we since we have our partnership with NASCOM, FutureSkills Prime, so individuals who've already taken the upskilling courses would get that benefit within the platform, right? They would have that kind of a rating within the platform, that they are certified XYZ certification that they've taken from FutureSkills Prime. And you get that excellent opportunity of creating your profile within the BGig platform that is visible to all the gig posters. When I say gig posters, these are all these clients or organizations who are in lookout for certain skills in freelancers or in individuals, and want to get this gig working done, right? So you can fairly simple register. It's in the chat. We've pasted the link to our website. You can register, and if you have any queries, you can just connect with the BGig team, and we will help you in this entire journey. When it comes to building your profile, so certain things that showing that you're a FutureSkills certified person really adds on to the weightage of your profile, because even clients looking at your profiles will then see that, okay, this person is a certified infrastructure engineer or a certified AI ML or any other certification, which really adds on to your credibility and helps you get shortlisted as well when it comes to the interview stage with the client and getting that gig. In terms of the kind of like what should be the pay that we should propose or anything like that, a lot of times you will see that clients themselves have a particular budget for a particular thing, for a particular project, so you can negotiate that definitely. Otherwise you will see other people on the platform, what kind of a gig they're posting, what kind of a budget they have. And generally you have other fellow freelancers. We do have our WhatsApp and Discord community as well, wherein you can interact with other freelancers who are working on these gigs and get insights from them. Have that community. We have that community set up where you can know that, okay, what kind of gigs are people wanting for, what kind of a work they're expecting, the quality, how much are they willing to pay, what are the general timings. So all these things are very like, clear, and you have that support, whether be it from upskilling perspective from FutureSkills Prime, or from this community perspective from BGig. So this can definitely help you shape your gig working, career, and help you get started with it.
So Priya, I saw a lot of questions on one aspect called compliance and if there are any letter of intent. So I think this is more from what if you get a gig, right? Then who is ensuring you get paid once you submit? So I'm sure the platform take care of it, but if you can just, talk about it a little bit.
Sure. So generally, we have seen a mix of different things. While our platform does contain the compliance part of it, in terms of being a marketplace that, the client signs up a contract, the freelancer signs up a contract within the platform. But still, apart from this, there are a lot of clients that do want to get onto additional contracts with the freelancer, which is again facilitated through the platform itself. So in term that ways, legally, it is a very authentic relationship that you have. There's no need for a freelancer to be worried. You can have payment as per your own terms. Do you want to do it post the completion of the entire project at one go, or do you want to divide it into milestones based on the type of work that you've completed? So if you completed 10% of the work, you want one payment. So it's very flexible, and that is something that you can define in conjunction with the client that you're working for. So there's all legal work that is done on the platform. You can have a lot of times, a lot of clients want a few additional contracts that they want to sign apart from the basic contracts that we have. So that is also well facilitated if both the parties are agreeable to it. So we've seen such cases, and payments till now have never really been an issue. So obviously, there are some few certain areas where you see a few dispute managements coming up, but then with both the parties, it's generally ethically solved, and there's no such as such issue that we've really faced.
Yeah, there is nothing called a pay slip. Usually it's either a pay slip or your bank statement, right? For such purposes. So probably that will get, yeah.
Comes to the payment, there's a proper invoicing mechanism that the freelancer has to raise the invoice to the to the client, and post the processing of the payment within the stipulated time, as we have mentioned on our platform. We do share a payment advice as well, that this much amount has been credited to your account with all the applicable taxes, whether if you're a GST registered freelancer, or if you're charging GST invoice or not, or the kind of TDS TCS that gets deducted. So we do share a payslip as well at the end once the payment has been made.
I see a couple of hand raised, and since we are over 12, I wanted to know if there are some areas of BGig platform that you want to cover, and then maybe we can open it up.
Sure. So I think I would mainly, we've shared the link in the chat. I would request everybody to sign up on the platform, because your first step towards getting that gig opportunity is signing up, creating your profile, right? And looking at the different opportunities that are already listed there. Right, we already have large brand names such as Tech Mahindra, Swiggy, a few other opportunities from even new age startups, right? Like Lilac Buds and all those opportunities, especially for techies with certain backgrounds, is already listed up. Okay, we're in those are the hot cakes, I would say, that generally people are asking for. Especially also for in light of the Women's Day coming up, we have a lot of opportunities for women returning to work as well. We have tried our best that we bridge this gap of women facing that
Priya, we just
Okay, I think
lost
we
Priya,
lost her.
but yeah.
So Aparna, examples of gig, we will wait for her to. Okay, so Priya, yeah. So there's a question on examples of some gigs. Can you tell some examples of what a gig would be?
We have gigs related to certain modules of SAP. We have gigs related to PHP developers, or Lava developers, UI UX development, website developments, React JS, Node JS. So there are different skills around which there are gigs posted already. These projects range anywhere from a few weeks to 3-month long projects, or even 6-month long projects, right? And they're all across India. So at some some people even want that if they are in particular city, so even that is fine with them, right? If they could meet in person and work on these projects, or a lot of these opportunities are remote opportunities as well, right? So it's really a mix of different skill sets. We have a lot of cybersecurity requirements as well coming up, even AI ML requirements that are coming up. So, and today's hot topic is metaverse. So, Unity developers,
AR and VR developers.
VR and Unity developers are something that people are looking for as a skill set. So there are a vast variety of skill sets over, I would say, currently. So within our, so we have our own pool of freelancers who we actively give or provide opportunities with. So we have over 30 skill sets, that our pool consists of. And we, day after day, we're just adding more people, so that we can provide more opportunities to them. And these are all the different skill sets and opportunities that we're expanding on every day, and we're getting requirements.
Priya, can you touch upon that?
It's a marketplace, right? It's a
Yeah.
marketplace. So both supply and demand depend on what kind of people are getting it. So let's say there is a lot of Python developers coming in. Priya and team will be able to go to the customers and talk about, okay, get us more Python work because we have a work pool ready. So
Right,
it is both ways.
It is both ways. So we do have a lot of when I said SAP is we all know there are different modules and people specialize within those different modules. So today we have a requirement from, we have got a few freelancers who've said that these are our skill sets, and we would like to get some gig opportunities. So we've worked on the demand side that these are the readily available pool that we have. Do you have any gigs that you would want to give them? Or because anyways everybody's adopting for a hybrid workforce model now, where they want a few people on their payrolls and a few people as gig workers. So we work both ways. Since we're a marketplace, we manage both the supply side and the demand side. So tomorrow, if we see that we have a lot of Python, as you said, Smita, that a lot of Python developers are joining in, then we will also work on the demand side of getting them, those relevant gigs, so that they have that thing with BGig.
I saw a couple of questions which are very I think falling in that very out of curve, like English literature, or I mean so there I'm not able to find any relative relationship, because we are talking about tech gigs or here. However, I saw somebody saying arts graduate, so I think art graduate should be able to do something in Adobe UI UX, and UI UX is one area where you do have gigs on your platform as well, right?
Right, Anjana. So there I would suggest that if you do not have the relevant tech, so because BGig is primarily right now a tech freelancing platform, right? So, but I would encourage anybody and everybody that if you feel that you do not have the relevant skill set as of now, then our partner FutureSkills Prime is the right option for you to go get yourself upskilled. There are relevant courses, especially as Anjana spoke about UI UX. You can upskill yourself and then return to the platform and then add that skill set and showcase to the relevant clients that I have the skill set, I would like to work for this gig. So it is a cycle that you can go on if you want to really start off your career in gig working.
Yeah, so just so that we tell about all the other platforms also, there are many other platforms which are offering gig work, right? Not necessarily like a platform like Upwork will have all sorts of work. There are some tech work also. lot of creative work, lot of content work for somebody with an English literature. So look at that to get started. This is a specifically for technical area. Hence, we are focusing on BGig, and then there are other platforms like I think 99 testing. Then there is Top Coder. There are a lot of other platforms as well, which will offer you gig work. So it is a starting point. We wanted to tell you that this is a field which is going to become big. There are opportunities available. Once you start looking for these opportunities, I'm sure you will find more and more platforms. Do stay in touch with us. I think for anybody who's looking to reskill, we have a FutureSkill Prime. Anjana, can you put the LinkedIn community link also? And for
Yeah.
women specifically who are trying to get back to work, we have a WhatsApp group where we support them. So join that. And Priya was talking about a BGig group as well. So stay connected, and then you have to explore for option. See, this has not come to a place where like a Naukri, there is a set of all the opportunities are there in one place. We don't have that today. So you will have to look at multiple platforms where this gig work will be available and get started with something which you can choose. Is there work for people who know Photoshop, design, Illustrator? Yes, probably. As of now, probably not in BGig, Priya. Probably there are other platforms where there is.
Yeah, but we do get on and off a few opportunities, so they can definitely look at the platform. They're all listed there. They will
In fact, I
definitely.
saw a question, and Samriti or somebody, she said, I'm in a PhD in design engineering, and I'm doing something in big data or big data science. I think, I mean, you're the apt candidate, and maybe there are a lot of opportunities you should look up. And if you've done a certificate from NASCOM, NASCOM certificate from FutureSkills Prime, then that is all they need to validate your authenticity.
Yeah, so I think there was a question on how are you going to validate. So there are BGig assessments, and they are also considering NASCOM assessment as a starting point.
Right. So I think in the end, I will just say one takeaway that everybody should take today home is learning is the only constant. Okay. And it's never too late to start. Like the day you start, that's the point. That's it. Just step up, take that curve, right? It's a beautiful journey, that you will experience when you start working on different gigs. You will see that learning curve within your own self, right? I have switched through multiple things, and that has really liberated me and got me to the point where I am today. I am much more confident. I have a lot more to learn. I have that thing that I'm just curious at everything. I want to learn every new thing. And I myself on the side keep doing these upskilling courses from different platforms, including FutureSkill platform, where I'm currently, revamping my cybersecurity skills as well. So these are certain things that I keep doing. And with the Nari Shakti initiative going on with FutureSkill Prime, right, there are a lot of good opportunities that you can have there. There are a lot of good courses that you can avail benefits of, especially being a woman. So we would definitely promote that. In the end, I would just say that you can definitely connect with me or anybody from the BGig team via LinkedIn or through our website. I would be happy to connect with you over LinkedIn as well. And keep dreaming, keep working hard for it, and achieve all the success. I wish you all the luck, and thank you for attending today's webinar.
Thank you, Priya.
Okay,
But we have some time, so I thought we'll open it up for some people who've been raising their hand and tired of raising their hand. So I just allow Simadhari to talk and Madhuri to talk. If maybe you can unmute yourself one by one and then ask your question or whatever queries you have. We're trying to address whatever is possible within the context of this, whatever we can address in the session.
Perfect.
Are you, Simadhari, would you like to unmute yourself and ask because you've raised your hand? And if you not her, then Madhuri, you can ask your question. Also,
Or
there
you
are some questions more that are teaching computer science, and a couple of teachers have asked this question that they've been teaching for a while, and what do they do now? If
So Priya, you can stop sharing the screen so that. So Simhadri, Madhuri, if you have questions, that's why you raised your hands, you can do that. Else drop the hand, we'll put you back into the audience. Okay. Any other questions?
I think we have Muthu.
yeah,
Team.
Muthu, Madhuri has unmuted herself. She can ask. Also, Muthu.
Hi team. It is a great pleasure to be in the session. Really, it is an great effort by the whole team, and it is a great transformation to all the participants who are attending, and it is really a motivating thing to get done by the the participants who are being put up in this session, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Muthu.
Thank you.
We
Thank
have
you, Priya.
Jyotsna. I think Jyotsna is from our team, and I think she's joined as a. Oh, she left, is it? I don't know. I don't see her. She just left a note. I saw. Okay, so she's not here. Otherwise, I would
Yeah,
have asked her.
Jyotsna leads our career services platform. That's the reason we thought of if we had her, we would have asked her to come in.
Okay,
It's
Rajesh.
not, the certificates will give you basic knowledge. It's not sufficient to get a project. It's sufficient to get you shortlisted registry. That's how it works. Right? Certificates are never a demonstration of your ability to do a project, but it gets you clear that one stage. And then you have to start getting
For
your
people who
projects.
really want to do beyond certificate, by the way, we also have hands-on lab on the FutureSkills Prime. And it is up to as an individual, if you want to just not stick to the certification, do those labs. They are real-time question, problem statement that you need to solve. Okay, so FutureSkills Prime is the platform, and the certificate you get is a NASSCOM certificate because it's an initiative by NASSCOM and Ministry of Electronic and IT. Hence, the stamp on the certificate is NASSCOM. That's the difference.
NASSCOM is the industry body of IT and ITES companies in India. We work with government and companies. We're the bridge.
Yes, NASSCOM is a company.
NASSCOM is an association.
Association, which you can,
Yeah, National Association of Software and Services Companies. So it's not a company as such. We are an association. We work for the IT companies. We take their requirements to the government. We help in shaping policies. We give inputs to the government, the central government as well as state governments. We have chapters in every state where there is IT presence. And one of the initiatives NASSCOM has taken up with Ministry of Electronics and IT is this program called FutureSkills Prime, which is a upskilling platform. So you can get training. There are a lot of courses. There are some free courses. There are a lot of paid courses. The paid courses also, if you certify in that, you will get, there is a government incentive. Please log into FutureSkills Prime and look for the courses.
There are some questions about Nari Shakti campaign, Smita.
Yeah, so Nari Shakti Certified is a campaign we are running. We started it on Jan 26th on Republic Day, and it is going to run till the Women's Day. So if you take up a NASSCOM course, FutureSkills Prime course, and get certified, we will be helping you to get an internship. So that is the offer. So for somebody who has not been at work, so get a skill certification, and that will become your first opportunity of how the workplace has changed. So that's the. Okay, the level 2 hands-on labs are available in the platform itself, Ratnaji. So good to see you here. She is a certified person in our platform, and She's a retired
Teacher,
CBSE
retired
teacher.
teacher.
Yeah. So Ratnaji, welcome to level 2. Hands on V labs are available in the platform. Nari Shakti, if you have taken a certification in this period, you are going to be automatically part of it, Rajeshri. So no certificate for this webinar. So the certifications that we are talking about are actually assessments, right? Not just for completing a course. The BGIG certification is also an assessment. NASCOM is also, it's an assessment. So it really tests your skills and then gives a certificate, not for
Yeah, not for
something, not for
attending.
completing, not for
Yeah.
completing courses.
Plus, how will you able to do something if you don't know it and you've just attended and nobody has tested your knowledge on it. So, I mean, we have a Google form for women returning work. I don't know how many of you are a part of the group. So the idea is to collect correct information because some companies do want to know what is your gap and all so that they can offer a relevant internship to you. So please fill it.
Yeah, so Rajeshri, please fill in that Google form so that, and if you're not part of our WhatsApp group, join all the groups. And as we said, networking is the key to get this done.
So Aparna, we're not asking for resume because then we'll get so many of them and this is just a part of our work and
No, that will be later once you get certified. At this point of time, see again, we are like a marketplace at this point of time. We are sourcing internships as well as telling you all to get certified. So when we have to source internships, the companies need to know what kind of a background are you coming from so that they can tell us whether they can give an internship or not. So this information is only for that. We will ask you for the resume, definitely. See, it's not a internship given to you. It's an internship opportunity. So there will be a selection criteria, but this becomes your key to get
even to get a relevant opening, the organization needs some kind of, idea of where are people in right now.
Okay. I think we are done. A lot of people have dropped. Any other questions? Anybody wants to talk? You want to share what you got out of it? We can let you speak. Okay, all the WhatsApp links, please. Divya, Anjana, please put the WhatsApp links. What is acquiring data course? That is a beginner level course for anybody who wants to explore data science. So get started and see if it excites you, then you can take other courses in data science. So this is a very short one. This is a very short one, 10-hour course. So if you're not familiar with what is there in data science and you are not sure whether you want to get started or not, this is one course which you can take. It will give you an indication of what is there in the data science area.
There is a subsequent hands-on lab for this course, which is on the platform. Plus, we have tied up with OpenWeaver. So if you can test, how much can you do? It's a very good course if you want to really do the beginner. And there are some job roles also when people can do, only basis of this course.
Yeah, yes, a non-technical person can also get started with this course. It doesn't need any programming knowledge. It is to do with statistics at this part of the. So there is another, for somebody who's already skilled, there is a competency diagnostics in the FutureSkills platform, which will help you create a customized path for you from what you know to how do you get into any of these emerging technologies. So try that out. Competency diagnostics, which will help you at least for 3-4 areas. It tells you from where, there is a 100 rupee. I think the first attempt is free. You can take it multiple times for different technology as the target destination. And it will take you through a short half-an-hour assessment. Again, you will have to have a laptop and it's a proper assessment, half an hour.
Camera. Laptop, camera. Because
camera.
A lot of people say we are not able to take it from mobile. It's not, you will have to have a laptop.
So it is it's an assessment which is trying to see where you stand with respect to that area and the knowledge. And from there, there will be a suggested set of courses right? It will not be a course, it will be a skill that then you can look up in the platform for those skills. So
So I think,
FutureSkills Prime, log in and then get started. Yep.
yeah, upskill yourself and then register on BGig and
BGig.
find the who can, and really get money on the skills that you've developed.
Chat
We have
GPT
a
will
question
affect
for the
everything.
day. Finally, we
Chat-
have something relevant to Chat GPT. I was wondering.
I was wondering how come that didn't figure so far. Chat GPT is going to affect everything, not just data science. It's going to affect programming. It's going to affect copywriting. It's going to affect design. Everything it's going to affect. We don't know how it will. But yes. But there will be more and more things that are coming up. Now, somebody needs to be there to see whether what ChatGPT turned out is right or not, right? So that there definitely will be human intervention, at least for the next foreseeable future. So, what is Government of India incentive? So for foundation courses that you are buying and taking in the FutureSkills platform, if you clear the 600 rupee NASCOM certification, 3,000 rupees or half the course fee is reimbursed, is transferred back to you through direct benefit transfer. It's a government policy, like how you will get your LPG subsidy. That's how you will get this back. And if it is a deep skilling course, which means there is a specific skill that you are the course is covering, then you will get up to 8,000 rupees or 50% of the course fee, whichever is lower. Is given back to you. So this is available only for a limited period. So check out the platform and get started. Which link are you asking? We've sent all the links in the chat so far. FutureSkills Prime. Anjana, do you have all of them at one place? Probably. Divya, your links also at one place.
Google it. FutureSkills Prime, if you type on Google, it will come. The first thing.
Yeah, so that is one thing which is definitely there for gig, because you're going to be as an independent contributor and you cannot be looking at another person supporting you. You will have to find out. You will have to find out a lot of details. You have to be exploratory nature. You will have to figure out a lot of things. Will NASCOM exam be line with what we get to study in the course? Yes, the exam is for the course that you take up only. Or
And
that
it
skill.
will be much more little insight. So it cannot be that you read it very superficially and then you'll be able to pass. It is a little deep.
Yeah, it's a skill-based assessment. So it will not be a knowledge check like what is covered in the course is asked. The questions will be tricky and little application oriented. But it is for that particular skill or a course.
Yeah, if somebody has done a hands-on, whatever they've asked, and not skip the lab, right, and just progress the course, then you'll be able to go through and pass. That's something we've noticed. So I think we're over the time. If any last minute question, then.
Yeah, probably we'll take one question if there's anything, question or opinion.
I hope the women participants are very clear about it. We want to support you, but we would like you to support us in supporting you. So that's the ask.
You just need to do all the things that are told in the the course to clear the exam. For 3 courses that we are promoting as digital essentials, we have a WhatsApp group where we'll be conducting assessment support sessions so that you have an idea about the kind of questions that are asked. I hope you're part of that. Then join the assessment support sessions. Oh, okay. Divya has, thank you, Divya. You have collected all links together. Nice. Okay.
Yes, there is a mentor support that we offer, and that is why the group. We offer it for technologies.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll wind up. Thank you. Thank you so much, Priya. Thank you, Divya.
Yeah, thank you, Anjana.
Thank you, Priya, for your time. Thank you, Divya and Yanav in the backdrop who are hiding behind the scenes to manage this.
I think I will take the stage to thank my team at BGig, especially Gyanav and Divya, and Sonia, who's not present here, but they all have really helped me to pull this off. And I hope everybody had a great time, and everybody got the relevant knowledge that they were expecting from this webinar. And thank you so much, Smita and Anjana, for giving us this platform, as well as coordinating with us and helping us organize this. I hope we have many more such associations with FutureSkills Prime, and we're able to upskill and increase and contribute to everybody's life, and help them grow in their career, just like this.
Thank you to the whole team.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.